guys, it's Sierra. Don't mind my wrinkled shirt. I'm actually cleaning out my entire closet right now. This is actually a shirt that I got from Mitchell Clark, who's actually a local Black entrepreneur in my general area, and they have awesome content online. I actually came across his wife's page on Instagram and then found out that they both have like their own online businesses, and I loved this shirt, so I went ahead and got it, and they have it in a bunch of different colors. This is not sponsored. I'm way too small to be sponsored. But I just want to like shamelessly plug another young Black person out there doing their thing and making their money. So if you are interested in this shirt, I will post information about it. Getting into the video, oh, also I cut my hair. That's like the elephant in the room, I guess. Probably by the next time you see me in another video, my hair is gonna look different again anyway, because I'm always changing it into different styles. But like my actual hair, like my hair, I did cut it. And I'm like, it depends on the day. Some days I like it, some days I don't like it. Today, it's good enough. Now that all of those disclaimers and like updates out of the way, let's get into the video. So continuing on my self-publishing journey series, I wanted to kind of do a more general video talking about the pros and cons of self-publishing, which you can kind of get the gist and the feel for what those pros and cons are from my other videos, but I figured I might as well actually sit down and kind of spell them out to you guys. It's not going to be a super long list or a super long video, and most of them are pretty like self-explanatory or pretty obvious, but if you were just curious from the perspective of someone that's already done it, then I can list out the ones that come to mind. So the first pro of self-publishing, which is pretty obvious, I would think, is that you have complete and utter control over everything from start to finish. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that or alluded to that in all of my other videos. That's the whole purpose of self-publishing, is that you do have your hand in all of those different bags. So that's honestly the biggest pro. You get to choose when your book comes out. You get to choose what platform it comes out on. You get to choose if it's going to be an ebook or a hard copy book. You get to choose the book cover. You get to choose how many pages. You get to choose who you give credits to. You get to choose if you want like an introduction or a foreword by someone. You get to choose all of those things. Literally everything. I could go on forever, but literally everything you get to choose. On the flip side, the con of that is if you're not a graphic designer, you're not a professional editor, you don't know how to format books for ebook, you don't know how to whatever, you know, like if you don't have those skills naturally, it's going to be a learning curve for you. Excuse Oliver. It's going to be a learning curve for you, and it's going to be challenging. I'm not going to lie about that. But it is something that's definitely doable, and I think that the trade-off is worth it in my opinion. Oliver!
If you follow me on Instagram, you probably are already familiar with my cat Oliver. He's definitely likes to be the star of the show, so sorry.
Another pro, you get to be in control, again, of your marketing and your rollout. This goes hand in hand with being in control of like when your deadlines are and like when you want your publication date to be and your release date and all of that. But even more so than that, you are in charge of your marketing. You get to decide who your audience is. You get to decide how you want to target them, how you want to package things and give them to them. Self-publishing, for me anyway, was heavily reliant on social media and my social media presence. So I had already had a decent following on social media, nothing crazy, still less than 1,000 followers. And I had such a like close relationship with those people that were following me because they'd been with me since day one, because I had been talking to them online in comments and DMs, and they'd been sharing my stuff and I'd been sharing their stuff. So we got to have an organic relationship. So when I went to get ready to start promoting and marketing my book coming out, I knew who these people were on a more intimate level, and I knew how to tailor my promotion to them, what they would like. I know who I'm selling to on a more specific, more personal level, which is always a plus from any kind of business standpoint. It's always a plus to be intimately involved and knowledgeable about who you're selling to and who you're marketing towards. I will say a con of that is just fatigue and budgeting. Budgeting wise, my money, my personal money, like this is my life, my job money, was the money that I also had to use for everything Dear Sierra related. So everything about books, everything about paying a cover artist, everything was coming out of my personal checking account and savings account. There's no way to really get around that, honestly. Obviously, anything regarding funds is your money, so you have to budget for yourself, which is also kind of a pro because you're not getting yourself tied into these commitments that you know that you can't actually back up financially. If you're hiring an agent or hiring a manager and you commit on paper to doing X amount of sales, or commit on paper to paying them this much to do this much work for you, and then turn around and find out 2 months later you don't have that money to give, then you're kind of just SOL, to be honest. This next pro might sound very like cheesy, but I would say that a pro is just the sense of accomplishment that you have, knowing that you did this on your own, like you did that, like you did the thing, you know, like knowing like, hey, I can put my mind to something, I can see a project out from start to finish, I can do all these roles. That way in the future, if I become super famous, super successful, super rich, and I don't need to do those things anymore, but something happens, someone gets sick or someone gets fired, or I cut ties with the company, if I need to have a transitional period where I do need to pick up and do those roles again, I already have the experience to know how to do it. I may never have to write my own book description ever again. I can pay someone to do it for me. Or I can say, you know what, I want to take that role back on myself, and I know how to do it better, and I know the results that worked. Another pro would be how I can't find words. I'm a writer and I can't find words. How much you learn, I guess, about the like the analytical side of things, the research, the hashtags. Amazon has an amazing like promo and tracking tool inside of their KDP program, where you can like kind of see like what worked, what keywords worked, what cross references worked. So if I ever wanted to, again in the future, self-publish another book, if it's my next book that I self-publish, or if I take a break and have someone else publish for me, and then 5 years from now I decide I want to self-publish again, or even I don't want to fully self-publish, but I decide that I want to be in charge of my own behind the scenes optimization and analytics, that I know how to do that because I took the time to do it here. Being able to say like, I know my content more than anyone else because I wrote it, and I know what the keywords should be, I know what the description should say, I know what category this should be in on Amazon. You know, should this be in the romance category, should this be in the young adult category, things like that. I think the biggest con for me with self-publishing is that I could have and probably would have backed out many times. If I hadn't posted my release date on Instagram to hold myself accountable, saying February 18th, 2020, this book is going to be out on Amazon and you can buy it that day. If I wouldn't have put that out, I wouldn't have had any kind of accountability. I would have been able to chicken out a million times and say, you know what, I'm not putting it out. And not even just because like of fear, because also it's exhausting. It's easy to say like, oh, I have this deadline, but no one else knows I have this deadline. So maybe if I just push it back 2 weeks, no one will know. Or like, oh, I want to make this many contacts today, but no one else is on my team. So if I don't make that many contacts, like I don't have to answer to anyone. It's so easy to not be held accountable when you're doing it all on your own, which is why I encourage you to have like a friend, whether they're in the writing industry or not, that you just kind of like check in with and kind of like share your little small victories with. The actual physical work and labor that goes into it is not hard. The mental part is the hardest part, truly, and I can't express that enough. I think for the most part, that's all the pros and cons. I mean, everything else that I could think of to say kind of falls into some of those categories I've already mentioned, so I don't want to be repetitive. If I think of any other pros and cons and I come up with a really solid list that I want to hone in on and give you guys more details on, I'll make a separate video of that and it'll be a lot more structured. This one was kind of off of the whim, off the top of my head kind of thing, which I know that's not always the best content, but I felt that it would be helpful to share anyway. And I haven't checked in with you guys in a while, so I thought that would be important. Until the next video, which next one will probably also be a self-publishing journey video, I have a few more topics I want to cover as far as like imposter syndrome and deadlines and what to do after publishing and social media. So there are more videos coming in the self-publishing journey series. It's nowhere near being finished. I just took a little break. And I'm gonna have some other videos coming out too, as far as my like writer reviews videos and some other like fun little things that are unrelated directly to writing. So stay tuned for those. Thank you so much for watching.